also order.
This is a special presentation on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Yes, it is a special presentation, and we've got Gateway Baseball Championship action coming up here tonight as the second round is. Was that actually yesterday, Hamby?
Part of it.
Okay, I know
So
it started
Sandalwood beat
Monday.
Wolfson.
Okay, Sandalwood beat Wolfson.
And Mandarin beat Paxson.
Okay. All right. Well, we will see what happens in the Gateway Baseball Championship. It's that time of year. Got to get it in. You know why? Because the end of the regular season in high school baseball is next week. We are a week away. I think it wraps up on the Thursday, which would be April 9th, and gets ready for all the postseason action. Meanwhile, in softball, we've got another week beyond that. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the car. We are in Orlando. The Jags obviously had big news and didn't want to skip an edition of No Gate Fees. So doing that from the car. Be ready, Hamby. We are on very fine line connections, I believe, here from Orlando at the moment. And I could go down and see the launch to the moon today, too. It's a big time down here. So we've got that happening. So a lot happening anyway. Thanks for hanging out with us on No Gate Fees. We will have Coach Canaday from Baker County. They are undefeated. They were number one in the state. They actually took a little bit of a drop, which is interesting because they keep winning, 16-0 now. And also Mike Henderson from West Nassau scheduled to join us. Remember, there's a story that they had equipment stolen early in the year up in West Nassau. What's the latest on that? The Warriors are 10-10. They've had some nice wins. So we'll have Coach on. Remember having him on last year at batting practice. That was a lot of fun. So we'll see where he is today up there in Callahan and West Nassau. We've got our power rankings coming out. Getting tricky. We've got some new teams in the softball one. And we have some new teams in the public school baseball, and I think even in the private school. We'll take a look at that. Committed to the Uncommitted coming up as well. And holy cow, Hamby. I mean, do you believe that it's the end of the baseball season already? I mean, you guys only have a handful of games at most left.
Yeah, it's insane. It really has flown by. I mean, I think we got 4 games left. I mean, it's insane. Going back to the start of the season, you look and you're like, oh my gosh, 25 games. And we do this every year. I think every coach does. How are you going to get through 25 games? And then, we're already through 19. And it feels like the season just started. And to some extent, I feel like I have a very good idea of who my ball club is. And to another extent, I feel like I need 20 more games to figure them out.
Well, they are high school kids after all, and I'm not sure that changes with a lot of ball clubs when you're talking about that kind of stuff. Let me ask you this, because I wonder how coaches feel about these two questions, and you're obviously participating. So maybe you can handle this with your team to some degree. Don't give us too much information. Don't share what you don't want to share. But injury-wise, how much has that caught up to you? Because when you project things at the start of the year as a coach and as a team, it can differ from injuries. Some that last a week and a half, or some that obviously hurt you for the entire season, and especially if it's an arm. And then from expectations on where you thought you'd be, where are you right now and where you're kind of going? Like, can you get to where those expectations were set? I wonder that about every team in the area, but you're the only one here on the show right now.
Yeah, we knew that this year was going to test us from a couple of different aspects. First of all, with the schedule, we wanted to schedule hard, and we did so. I think everybody would agree as a second-year program, if you looked at our schedule, that it's really tough. Up and down the board, there's no really any sections off. UC, Bowls, NFC, St. Joe's, PV, up and down the list. And then obviously over spring break, we went and played a couple really good teams, got our butts kicked over there in Panama City. And we're attempting to do all that without our ace. Our ace hasn't pitched a single inning for us all year. He kind of had a lingering thing, and we thought he'd be ready to go for the season. And like second or third bullpen in January, we decided to shut him down. He's still hitting for us, but he's not throwing. So, that was our unquestioned ace, and we're trying to fight through without him. So, I feel like we at a lot of different times, man, you look up, you're like, oh my gosh, what we could do for just give me 3 outs. At the end of games, we've lost 4 or 5 1 or 2 run games late that we've been leading against some pretty good teams. But nonetheless, we haven't found a way to even really play defense behind that. I mean, as much as we've missed him, the defense has let us down at times too, which have probably been the most disappointing thing. And I think that's high school baseball. When your team kicks it around, it's just infuriating. And, there's not a high school baseball team in the country that's going to play a clean 7-inning game every single time. Everybody understands that. But nonetheless, all of our goals are still right there with us, or in front of us. I mean, we're obviously trying to get up as high in the region as we can. I think we're at 6 or 7 in our region right now. And we've got a great slate to end the season. We got Bradford tomorrow night, and then a big district game against Cornerstone, and then we got Menendez, Sandalwood, and Orange Park next week, which are 3 really fun games. Menendez beat us twice, each by 1 run last year in our first year. Sandalwood, there's obviously some ties there. We know everybody with that group. And then we finished with Orange Park. We had Coach on last week, and I think that'll be a fun one as well. They, like you said, they got 2 really good starters, so that'll be a fun test.
All right. So interesting to keep an eye on that. And by the way, if you don't know, Hamby coaches at Covenant, part of that staff with the Covenant Warriors. All right. So, hey, here's the topic today. And it won't be a long, belabored topic, but I think we always have to come back to the idea of this show. And the idea of this show is not just to hate on people who charge $20 for gate fees or hate on travel ball or complain about everything. It certainly is there to complain about some of the things that go on in the youth baseball world or the youth softball world or really youth sports world if you want to get it off your chest. And so we try to have some different topics. But I also think one of the big things we've transitioned this show a little bit to is trying to get baseball and softballers specifically some exposure with our Committed to the Uncommitted program. And everybody's trying to play at the next level, and it's harder than ever to play at the next level. Like we've known that now. That goes back for a handful of years. That really hasn't changed. And so you got to dial it in from where you can. The hopeful thing is you get a fit. You find a fit. You can always think there's a fit. This could be anywhere, relationship-wise. This can be work-wise. This can be obviously picking a school-wise. And it doesn't have to be sports-related. But the better you can narrow the choices to actually find your fit, well, the better off that you're going to have a good experience and at least get your expectations of what you thought it was going to be. Yeah. And like, that's really hard, Hamby. One thing is everybody wants to go as high as they possibly can go to get the tweet out and say, hey, I'm playing here, and the clout that comes with that. And I totally understand it. I also think there's another element to that. I think we kind of say that sometimes, but there's an element in anything. And I believe this, and I kind of wrestle with this sometimes, even probably with my own kids. It's like, I feel like you want to play as high of a level as you possibly can play. Like there's something to that, right? Go challenge yourself to the highest of levels that you can play. The problem with that is the highest of levels that you can possibly play doesn't always mean it's a good fit.
Right.
So I think those are 2 different things. And again, I'll be transparent. I mean, I think I wrestle with that a little bit with my own kids as they're continuing to play and look for potential new homes and the next steps or whatever that is. And I think you got to come back to the landing spot of the fit. I really do. And I think that's your best chance to fulfill the expectations that you have and probably have a pretty good experience. So I actually checked in with some coaches, and I think this is a little bit of through experience too. And I don't think a lot of this is, brain surgery, but there's a checklist that some people use. And the checklist that I got handed was this, Hamby, in no particular order: facilities, playing time, chance of winning, culture, scholarship opportunity, coach relationship, and location. Again, no particular order. And I think the fascinating part of that is those things, those 7 items, and there could be more, but those 7 items can vary for different people.
Of course.
Based on your financial situation, scholarship opportunity could be number 1 on the list. Based on, I like to compete, playing time is, I'm assuming, pretty high on most people's list. Mm-hmm. And then I think the chance of winning, now, would you just go anywhere and just go play, or are you going to be miserable being 12 and 40, during a season? So I think that's possible debate depending on who you are. And then, of course, location really factors in. So facilities, playing time, chance of winning, culture, scholarship opportunity, coach relationship, location. I would say this, Abby. I think that there's one muddy one on this, and I think that's culture. I think when you're in the process of finding a place, I don't really know if you know what the culture is. You're going to get sold that the culture is always good, but I don't know if you truly know what the culture is until you experience it. And in a lot of ways, culture changes from year to year, on team to team, based on chemistry and other things.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, anybody's going to be able to tell and differentiate, hey, a good school culture-wise versus a bad one. It's only going to come off of the word of mouth from the other parents, honestly. Every coach is probably going to say they have a great culture. And then if you have friends on that team and their parents, if they can, encourage it or discourage it, that's pretty much what probably you're going to go off of. I think on your list of little 7 there's one that sticks out to me that I think is an obvious last, as in least important. And I honestly think it's location. These Jacksonville parents, or just parents in general, they'll drive anywhere. They'll drive anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't care. It's insane. And credit to them if they're willing to make that sacrifice. I'm sure there were plenty of parents that are driving 45 minutes one way to get their kid to a school, or if the kid's driving, then he's driving the 45 minutes
for practice.
I mean,
travel,
for practice,
travel world has changed that.
Absolutely. Like, it's not gone are the days, or it's got to be within a 5-minute radius. Like, nobody goes to school 5 minutes from where they live. I mean, obviously that's exaggeration to a high degree, but that's the way it feels. I mean, especially
I would say this, Hamby, though. The one thing on that note is where do you draw the line, right? Like, I know this in baseball, and I've learned this in baseball, that basically West Coast baseball teams recruit West Coast. There's a certain style to the way they play and the kids play. And also, if you bring a kid across the country, it's a little more risky anyway, because are they going to like it? Then there's the northern side of things. I know for the fact my kids probably only go a certain amount of miles north. Like, they don't want to play in Pennsylvania. They just don't. It's cold. They've grew up playing here. And there are some kids that don't mind that at all, which is also fine. So more opportunities probably the further you go if you're from Florida, and probably the higher level, I think, very often. So anyway, that's the location. I think you're right about the parental part. And I actually think the location's a plus. If you want to stay, great. But if you want to go, you experience a new area of the country, potentially a new region of the country. You meet more people, you network a little bit, you see how people live a little differently. There are life things there. There are networking. There are a bunch of stuff that happens if you go to some different places. And I grew up that in a big way. I grew up in Rhode Island, and everybody, I just felt like we never left Rhode Island. And I think people in Rhode Island don't leave. And then I went to school in Ohio, and I was like, holy cow, it's a whole different world. Then I got a job in Louisiana. Holy cow, totally different world. And like, I love that part about my life, is I got to learn some different places. Meanwhile, I feel like my parents have been out of the state of Rhode Island like 3 times in their life. Just like, there's more than Rhode Island, man. So, but people feel differently about that. If you want to stay close to home, there are plenty of opportunities, obviously, at all different levels here in Jacksonville. All right, we'll talk more about that, and maybe I'll actually start that way with our first guest of the show, Kylee Canaday from Baker County softball. And I know she's in her car, so we might just have the audio here, Hamby, of this as well. But Coach, how you doing?
Yes.
Doing fantastic. I'm going to start calling. I'm going to name this. Go to a basketball show and probably call it Drive and Dish or something. Or since we're all in our vehicles,
in the car. Yeah.
As long as we're not driving, though, we're not driving right now. But we're down here in Orlando after the Jags announcement, so that's what we're doing. I know you're probably busy on your way to a practice eventually, and thanks for taking a couple minutes. Stay on our topic for just a moment. When you send players to college, and when you have those discussions, we just went down a list from facilities to culture to coaching to playing time, scholarship opportunities, location. Are those kind of the factors that you give the girls and say, hey, go find the right fit for you?
Yes. Obviously, my kids coming from a small town. Most of us have grown up here. Everybody and their family lives here. So you you find it in different kids. Some of them want to get out and they want to go different places and meet people, and then some not so much. They want to stay close to home. They want to be able to see their family often. And I think it just depends on the kid, and that depends a lot on where they decide to go to school. Is how far, or is it far enough? Some of them. So.
Oh yeah, it's good. It really does change kid to kid. And that's just our big, hopefully for everybody, is hey, find the right fit for the kid to have a good experience at the next level. I can tell you that people are having a good experience at Baker County right now. It's been a hell of a run for you guys the last few years, and now 16-0 after a close win. I think it was last night against Paxton. What a year! Did you see this one coming the way it's unfolded?
As a coach, yes. I mean, looking into it, yes, this is what I expected. I've got 8 seniors, so this is a big year for me. They've all played together. I returned 14 kids off of last year's roster, and the kids that went to state with me their sophomore year, they're all back. They're hungry. They want it, so they've tasted it. They know what it takes to get there, and they have great team chemistry. These kids, I mean, on the field, off the field, they love each other. They want to hang out. They do it all together, and so. Yeah, I'm making a pretty good run right now.
Yeah, how much do you get wrapped up in the undefeated part of that? It's kind of hard to ignore, right, when you get this late in the season where you haven't had a loss. I know you guys have had a lot of really good seasons where you haven't lost a bunch, but is that become a little bit of a monster of its own that you've got to be aware of?
Yeah, so we definitely talk about that to the kids, because obviously, kids, social media, everybody's posting rankings and who's won and who hasn't. And so the kids, I tell them you got to find that good balance of, yeah, we're undefeated, but at any moment, we keep telling the kids we have the target on our back. We're the ones everybody wants to beat right now. And so if we lay down for just the slightest moment, then we know, I mean, there's a lot of teams out there capable of it. So we talk about it, but I'm not a rankings person. I try not to look at it, pay attention to it. The only ranking I tell the kids, I care about the one at the end of the season.
Yeah, and as you should. Just by the way, Coach, we got you number 1 in our rankings and have had them for a little bit. But I think you've earned that. I will say this: any slight at all for you guys, or do you care? You were number 1 in the state, I think, just last week in the FHSAA rankings, and then I think I just looked yesterday, and you slipped to like number 6 or 7, despite staying undefeated. And I understand there's ratings and weighted and all that stuff. It's not just a subjective thing, but that was surprising when I saw that. Is that something you can use maybe as a little bit of a chip the next couple of weeks?
Oh, yeah. My kids definitely noticed how far they dropped us, and we've been playing. We haven't lost. My kids are definitely well aware of the state dropping us as far as they did. But it's like I told them, keep proving your point on the field. Rankings will take care of themselves at the end of the day.
Yeah, you probably love that. I bet as a coach, I would love the fact that they notice and maybe play a little bit with that chip. You mentioned all that experience. I didn't know exactly what you would have pitching. I knew you had a lot coming back, and obviously you've got some terrific players, and you've built a heck of a program there. So I feel like you're always good anyway. Are you getting more out of your pitching than you expected, or did I kind of miss that?
I think some people just overlooked. I lost 2 senior pitchers last year. They're both doing well in college, but I had a freshman, Grace Masterson, threw for us a lot last year. So we brought her back. My junior pitcher, Abigail Mercer, has come in clutch in her innings. And then my freshman, Gigi Gray, has really stepped up and thrown some solid innings for us. So
yeah, it's obviously that's what you need.
They work great together. I mean, you can go from one to the other, and they just balance each other out. Yes, that's my treat. Anybody that you put out there.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And obviously, you got to have it if you're going to be undefeated. You got to have it. I know we're losing your connection a little bit, but before I just want to end with this, if we can. Bailey Shields has played unbelievable for you. She's a heck of a player going to FSW. I really wanted to check in on Mom. She's like the AD now out there at Baker County, right? Like, is she doing okay without the coaching softball at Baldwin?
Yes, Coach Shields she's been great. She's always around the field. She's always willing to help. But I want to give a special shout out to Bailey Shields. A lot of people don't know she also just got valedictorian of our class. So,
Oh, wow.
Great athlete, great kid. But to do what she's done athletically in 4 years and be the valedictorian, I couldn't be more proud as a coach. And I know her mom and dad couldn't be more proud. But we love having Coach Shields on the right side now and not having to worry about playing her anymore. So
That's awesome. By the way, congrats to Bailey Shields. She's a heck of a player, and obviously getting it done in the classroom. I'm just glad as a dad, as a kid with Daytona State, we don't have to face her at FSW next year because we're done. And FSW is really good, so she's headed to a really good program.
Yeah, she's a great kid. I can't wait to see what she does the next 4 years.
Awesome. Coach Kylee Canaday, congrats on all the success this year. We'll keep following, a couple of weeks to go, and then I know you guys plan to play for a couple of weeks after that.
Yes, sir. Plan to make a deep run. Go Cats.
You bet. That is Baker County Wildcats softball coach Kylee Canaday. Appreciate her joining us here on No Gate Fees, and what a job they've been able to do. Their terrific program, and to just keep getting the pitching. I mean, you graduate 2 seniors that were really a big part of it, and then keep getting the arms. That's a key. In softball, you never know that's going to happen. And I continue to say this. I think I've said it multiple times in the last few weeks. If you're going to have good teams, you need contributors that maybe you didn't expect or didn't get the year prior, whether that is a junior or a freshman that's coming in. I think if you look around, most teams that do well will have a contributing freshman that they just weren't exactly sure what they would get out of that, but they're really helping extend the lineup, extend the innings on a rotation, any of those things. And I think we're seeing that, at least at a lot of the schools that we're familiar with, both in baseball and softball. You're getting a lot of it so far. Maybe an exception would be a team like Trinity Christian Baseball, had a lot coming back. It's been a young team that is, over the last few years, we saw emerging and is now a very veteran group. Hey, let's do this, Hamby. Take a break. No Gate Fees presented by Buick GMC, Baker's Sports, Perfect Rack Billiards, Republic Services. I do want to take a note on this and just we'll push this out. I think we just did on social media. But Monday, there's going to be a home run derby at the Bowles School, and we're going to broadcast that live here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. So we're excited about doing that. And that will take place Monday at 6 o'clock on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Let's hit a break. I think I'm breaking up. We'll be right back. Nimnicht is synonymous with Jacksonville, and now in 2026, Nimnicht is celebrating 85 years of partnerships with you. Longevity equals trust, and you want a car dealership you can trust. Thousands of vehicles sold, generations of families, all part of the Nimnicht family of dealerships. My family has been part of the Nimnicht family for almost 20 of those 85 years, and I've told you about all the different vehicles that we've purchased. But it's not about the cars and the trucks. It's about the service and also the Nimnicht relationships that expand all around the community.
Congratulations to Jordan Matthews, our committed to the uncommitted player of the year.
Nobody but Nimnicht. They are there for you and your causes, your car buying experience, and they are there for you 24 hours a day at NimnichtBuickGMC.com. Experience professional grade with big inventory and even bigger savings. And Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Nobody but Nimnicht for 85 years. This milestone belongs to you, Jacksonville.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Hey guys, we got a new player today. I hear he's pretty good.
Heard this guy played in the NFL.
I think he's an MMA fighter. I've actually been on his show, the Brent and Austin show.
Football and fighting, that's the easy part. Let's see if I still have it on the ice. What the heck, man? Who is this guy? He's saving everything.
Leave the hockey to the pros, man. It's hockey season. Come on out and see the Icemen play. Get your tickets at JacksonvilleIcemen.com.
We've been telling you about the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network for over a year now. How to find it, what to see. Simply put, it's TV online. Local sports content all day, every day. Just like this.
Did you always want to make history? Like, think that big, or just say, hey, I want to play in the NFL?
I always say I wanted to play in the NFL.
That's it. Back to our left side, takes a shot.
Oh,
and into the back of the net.
Oh, what a pass.
Oh, my goodness.
What a pass.
Say he doesn't make a tackle, you still feel like his presence is felt in every single play.
I did have a sense that they wanted to be bold, that they wanted to make a splash.
It's content you won't find on TV. Find it on actionsportsjacks.com and just sit back and watch local sports all day on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
This is a special presentation on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Welcome back here to No Gate Fees. I was wondering what I was looking at there for a second, but I'm looking at West Nassau High School and a news story that we did involving the baseball team a couple of months ago, because the baseball team had equipment stolen, and we're going to get an update on that and see if we know they've been playing ball, so they got equipment enough to play ball, but wanted to get an update that with Mike Henderson, the West Nassau baseball coach, and we had him last year on the show. He was fun. He had us out by the batting cage last year. This year he got us in the office.
Hey, man, what's going on?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Getting ready to head over to Charlton here in a few hours. Got a game over at Charlton tonight, so all's good. Weather's good. It's warming up a little bit. It's a little bit more like baseball season.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, give us an idea what that one's like. You guys are like right down the road from Charlton. I'm not sure a lot of people realize how close you guys are in Callahan to Folkestone. Is that a pretty good rivalry? I mean, you guys be juiced up for that game?
Yeah, we played them for the last 5 years. I think they whipped up on us about 4 years ago, but it's been pretty good games since then. Thad does a great job with their program over there, so they're always really well coached. They got a good program. They've won a few state championships in the last 10 or 15 years, so they're always going to be tough. I think they're having a pretty good year. I think they won 14 games or so. So, yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge. We got a really good program.
Yeah, you guys are 10-10 right now going into this one. Give us an idea of your team. You guys have played a tricky schedule, and I know you've had some really nice wins too. So what do you make of the 2026 season so far, 20 games in?
It's like riding a roller coaster that I didn't pay to get on. We've had some really good outings, really good days. We've had some bad days, but we graduated 12 guys last year. 5 of those guys they moved on to play college baseball, and so we got a lot of inexperience, a lot of youth. Got some seniors that haven't been relied on a lot up to this point. So the expectations were, I wouldn't say low, but the expectations were, being practical, we were going to be down. And, a lot of nights they come out, they're just scrappy. They find a way to win. We're not great at anywhere most nights, but they're a fun group to coach because they play hard and they just kind of find a way at times to win. On other nights, we seem to not do things well and show that youth and inexperience. But put ourselves in a good position in the region, especially being as inexperienced as we are. So it's been a fun year. It's been frustrating at times, but
that's part of it. That's part of it. No doubt about it. Our topic today was finding a fit at the next level in college. And you just said you had 12 seniors last year, 5 of them go to the next level. How much of the conversations do you have about, hey, don't get wrapped up in, I want to go play here and I'm chasing playing here. Instead, maybe let it come to you a little bit more and find what really fits you as a player and a student and everything else. And we rolled down the list, right? From facilities to culture to coaches to location, scholarship opportunities, the dollars come into play. But how much education do you do that with your guys that want to play at the next level? And how much is really at the end of the day just finding the right fit for each individual kid?
Yeah, we try to have those conversations throughout their career about being honest about where they're at and what their goals are and do their goals and reality match up. But I think it's important to keep them grounded and find the right fit. I know you said something earlier about it being so hard right now to find a fit at all, let alone the right fit. And it's harder to, play at the next level for these high school guys than it's ever been. So, trying to stay grounded and realize that, it's going to take hard work to get there no matter where that is right now. So you kind of you got to work really hard because you're competing with a lot of 21 to 23-year-olds that are, in the portal. And it's just, it's a tough time for these high school guys to get to the next level for sure.
Yeah. And I guess this is a little bit of my message. I don't know if I'm should be delivering messages, but I think in baseball, we always have known it's a late bloomer sport sometimes. Not everybody arrives at the same time. And I think we continue to see this. And so while you can be deterred in the recruiting process because you're not getting exactly what you want or as many people coming to chase you because of all the things you mentioned, gosh, it's almost more important to say, hey, if you really want to play, don't give up on it. Just find a place to keep playing because we're starting like the Matthew Forner kid at UNF. I mean, he told us a couple of weeks ago, he's like, I didn't really even want to play. Rollins offers me at the last second, goes to Rollins, goes to Northwest Florida, killing it at UNF now, and has a chance probably to get drafted. That's a guy that almost gave up playing and might have a chance to get drafted. It's the way the sport works sometimes, and I think more and more it's the way maybe the college landscape is working right now.
Yeah. I think that's why it's important to run your own race. And we talk to our guys about that all the time, with the world of social media. You've got these guys committing Division I in 9th grade, 10th grade. And I mean, that's awesome. But for most guys, that's not reality. And, you can get in the comparison game and that's tough. So you got to be grounded and run your own race and realize that you got to work really hard to get there. And it doesn't happen right away for everybody,
That's one of my favorite things to say. I like that you said run your own race in any facet of life, not just sports, might be the way to go. All right. You had a guy, there was a kid that you mentioned that's been playing really well. Give us a little bit more on that young man and who's been helping you out. And is it a surprise or did you expect this out of him?
Fisher Bennett, he's a left-handed pitcher for us. He's committed to Erskine. He's been one of our guys the last few years. In the past that when he's good, he was absolutely electric. At times struggled to get ahead. This year has not been the case at all. I think he's 67 Ks right now, 0.5 ERA. He's beat a couple of really good teams just recently. Held St. Joe's to no runs in 7 innings, 6 Ks. And that lineup's been putting up 10, 12 runs a night. But he's really good on the mound. Every time he toes the rubber, we got a chance. But I think he's one of the most overlooked guys in the area as far as, elite pitchers. And we're lucky we got him.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. And Scotty came down and got him from Erskine up there. So that's pretty cool. Scotty Bateman was tied to FSCJ, and now he's up there. I like that he's coming down to Northeast Florida to grab some talent. All right, before we let you go, can you give us an update on what we started the segment with? You guys give us a little more detail of the story of you had equipment stolen, I think, right before the start of the season. What's the latest on what has transpired since then?
So I wish I had a little more updates to give. I know the detectives are working really hard. As far as leads and arrests and anything of that nature, I can't comment on that. I'm not sure if any developments happen. I do know what I can give an update on is that the community did a really good job rallying around these young men. I think we raised somewhere around 45 to $5,000, which should be enough. I think it was enough to make everybody whole from what they lost. Unfortunately, we didn't have the funds to reimburse the trailer that was stolen. That was not obviously a player's, but as far as the gear and equipment, the community came together, did a great job. There was a couple, anonymous donors that gave things, but that's the good thing about living in a small town. Whenever something happens, everybody kind of comes together, especially when kids are involved. So, yeah, no real big update other than the guys have been taken care of. And, we just appreciate everybody that, went out of their way to help these guys out in a time of need.
Just give us a reminder. So in that trailer, obviously you said the whole trailer was stolen, but so was it gloves and bats and balls? I mean, is that basically what was essentially in it?
Yeah, not supposed to comment a whole lot on that with the whole investigation. But just a lot of equipment, players' equipment was taken. But the trailer itself was just a dump trailer that was appearance from a work day.
Yeah. Well, at least I guess so far so good on that topic, but hopefully there's more to that story eventually that they end up finding out who did that. That's never something fun to run into as a coach at the start of the season. But it looks like you guys have navigated it well. Good luck tonight against Charlton County. Good luck the rest of the way. Coach Mike Henderson, appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man. I got to give a shout out to the best Legion coach in America, Corey Goff. He wanted me to make sure we gave the Rattlers a big shout out, so couldn't leave them hanging.
Yeah, we won't do that, man. We like Corey. Hopefully they're taking care of business. They got a midweek game over there at JP Small right now at FSCJ. He's doing a good job.
Absolutely. All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Mike Henderson. Good to have Kylee Canaday on as well earlier in the show. All right, let's get down to it now. It's time to give away our Coach of the Week, Perfect Rack Billiards Coach of the Week. Speaking of Corey Goff, we'll get to our committed to the uncommitted in just a moment. But let's go Coach of the Week first. And I'm going to do something I don't like to do very often. I even told some of the friends in the circle that lean on in the softball, baseball world is like, you know me, Hamby, I don't really like going the Creekside route very often. I try to stay away from that with a certain level of unbiased if we can. Although both Creekside baseball and softball are having a heck of a year right now. And it should be acknowledged. We have acknowledged the baseball side of things specifically because they've been on point since they beat Trinity Christian in the opening week. But Kinger would get really mad if I do anything for him on this front. But I really think Neil Luciano and that staff at Creekside has done an amazing job. They've got a freshman pitcher that's doing a lot of good things. They've been able to fill some other innings. I think they were real curious about the pitching. Carly Dahl did a lot of that for them last year, and she graduated, went to St. John's River. They also lost another pitcher that moved to Southwest Florida. And so they knew they had bats and they could hit, and they can, Presley Brinkley and Haley Cunningham and others. But I think they wondered about the pitching. Well, they've been able to get that. Then we wondered a little bit about the schedule when we were doing some of the rankings. Okay, they're winning some games. Are they beating anybody? A couple of weeks ago, they beat Baldwin. Big game, beat them 5-4. They go to Ocala this weekend. They beat a Sun Lake team that is very good. And I wasn't too aware of Sun Lake until I looked into them a little more and asked some questions. They did that, by the way, with 4 of their seniors going to prom, and they were missing some other players for that game on Saturday. It was the 4th game of the weekend, and they were able to pull off the win. And then last night, they beat Middleburg at home, walk-off style, 3-2. And so you get Baldwins and the Middleburgs of the world. That really impresses us. So Neil Luciano and the Creekside staff, congrats to them. They're 15-3 right now. And I think they moved right into the top 50 in the state in the FHSAA rankings. They've positioned themselves well. I will say this, in their district, you've got Sandalwood and Atlantic Coast. I think that is at times over the years, that's been a walkover district. If that was the case, it was just those two teams. Not this year. We've already highlighted Sandalwood softball. They've been able to have some huge wins this year. And Atlantic Coast, the only games they lose usually are against high-quality competition. They're really good with a lot of their team returning from last season. That's going to be a fun district to watch. And then how many get in the regional play and where does that fit? But right now, hard not to be impressed with what Creekside's doing. And so the staff over there, they got our Perfect Rack Billiards Coach of the Week. And go have some dinner with the crew over there in Murray Hill at Perfect Rack Billiards. We appreciate them supporting the local coaches in the area, both baseball and softball. Meanwhile, committed to the uncommitted. We are going back to the baseball world for this young man. And what I love about this, Hamby, is we had somebody contribute on Twitter and say, hey, got to check out this kid. And so we do, and we are. And he's from the Mandarin Mustangs, Sam Smedley. I'll tell you what, before I tell you anything else about him, if I'm a college coach, I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, I can do something with this kid that size.
Oh, yeah, the frame is there for sure.
How far does he hit it?
Yeah.
How far does he hit it? That's a frame that a lot of coaches, I think, are going to really like.
And you know why that is, Brent?
Well, because he also plays football. Yeah, look at that.
First team all-conference left tackle.
That's awesome. Great stuff. And so, I mean, obviously, baseball people, I'll tell you this, and you know this probably, Hamby, but baseball people love coaching football players. Like they love the toughness a football player brings. And but Sam is playing really well. I'm going to get to his numbers actually right now. Coach Matt Miller just sent me this a short time ago. He said he's a no-brainer for me. All-conference left tackle as well, hitting .415, 24 ribbies, an on-base percentage of .485, has a walk-off homer or walk-off hit this year. He's a vacuum at first base, which means he can play that position. And that's not always the case, right? Sometimes you got to stick a guy at first base, but he can play it. 6'2", 240. He's off baseball's radar because he never played outside of 3 months of spring season. So he's not on the travel ball circuit or anything else. This is the perfect guy.
Yeah.
We're committed to the uncommitted, presented by Nimnik Buick GMC. This is the guy that should get looks if he wants to play baseball. This is the hidden gem that people are probably missing because of the football stuff. And most people, I think, if you get a baseball football guy, you assume, okay, he wants to just play football. He's going to go play football. Well, you got an opportunity to maybe get him in baseball, and he would rather play baseball in college. Sounds like that's his love, is to play baseball. And Coach says this. He's also one of my favorite guys I've coached in a while. Yes, sir, no, sir kind of young man. Can't say enough good things about Sam. So neither can we. Sam Smedley, first of all, thanks to the Twitter folks for bringing that to our attention. That's the idea of this. We want you to nominate people, and then we can go ask the coach and say, hey, is this legit? And obviously, it really worked out this time for Sam Smedley. And college coaches, take a look now. I know you like that frame. I know you like that toughness. The other part, we'll have to see. Sounds like he can scoop it and play it pretty well at first. Sounds like he's a really good human being. Checks a lot of boxes to me. I got a feeling when he gets a hold of one, he really gets a hold of one. I know he's hitting over 400, so he can certainly swing it. And there's another thing, and you know this, Hamby. We're seeing this all over the area. A lot of people are like, hey, he's hitting 400 in high school. You know how many guys that are highly touted this year that are barely touching 300 in high school? Hitting in high school baseball, depending your schedule, is not easy.
Right.
Like, we assume that you should hit 400, 455. I mean, come on, it's baseball. You can put it on a tee in practice and not hit that. So dude's hitting 415, and they play some good competition now at Mandarin. So I think he's obviously done everything he can do. And this seems like a great kid to go get if you're a college recruiter, and at least take a look at and see where he fits. I don't know, because I honestly, I haven't seen the young man play. So I'm not sitting here trying to tell you he should be going to UNF and JU. I don't know if he could be going to FSCJ or Flagler. We've got all different levels, plenty of places to play. I know Edward Waters too. I don't want to leave them out. So plenty of places to play.
Yeah, and you said he's got 24 ribbies on the year in 22 games. Not too shabby. I wonder how many of those came last night. 20-10 ball game with Paxson, 30 total runs in that one. I wonder how many he tallied there. If Coach included last night in his stats right there.
Yeah, I don't know he did. I should find this out. Maybe go look up at the box score, because now I'm curious to see how our guy Robert Bryson did as well.
26 hits in the ball game. Mandarin had 16 hits, scored 8 in the 6th inning, and Paxton scored 10 and had 10 hits, and they scored 5 in the 6th inning. So 13. Man, that might have been a 3-hour game.
Yeah, that probably was a long one.
Holy cow.
How many walks did you see how many walks?
I can't see walks. I can only see hits and errors.
Yeah, I got a feeling in a 20-10 game there was a handful of walks too.
Oh, I bet.
Which isn't always fun. Hey, speaking of our committed to the uncommitted, we were just mentioning Robert Bryson the fourth. I think he's been playing really well. Last check, that was at least a couple weeks ago. We know Ochoa committed to FSCJ, and Cassidy Edwards we continue to rave about too. She pitched a one-hitter yesterday. I should have asked Coach about her, but that was in the 2-0 loss that they suffered. Paxton did to Baker County. She pitched a one-hitter in that game, so Baker County won despite just getting one hit, and so she's really performed. I think she beat Middleburg or struck out 17 against Middleburg a week ago. So it's good to see our used to be called reality recruits, committed to the uncommitted folks playing really well, and keep them coming. Let us know. We'll try to. We have some more. This is probably the most entries we've ever had, which is really exciting. Like that's what we want it to be, and we'll try to promote even more and more of the kids as we continue on. All right, let's get to our power polls, Hamby, and wherever you want to take me. Public school power poll. Here we go. All right, we've got some new blood. A little bit of new blood.
Kind of.
So Creekside lost last night to Lowndes. I wouldn't consider it a bad loss. They lost 2-1 in the 7th inning. Their losses overall have been pretty good. Nice was a weird one, but other than that, they have some real good wins. We know they've been playing a lot of good ball, and I don't think there's anybody there. I think Creekside's ranked 5th in the state right now, which, at least since I've been involved in the program, I remember once Creekside was ranked 7th. I mean, this is probably their highest ranking in the state in at least a decade, is what I would probably gather. So they played excellent. Fernandina Beach continues to play excellent. They do have some losses. I felt like Sandalwood and Fernandina could have traded spots a little bit, but I wasn't ready to do it on the full menu of the resume. I didn't feel like it. I still feel like Fernandina, although I'll tell you what, Sandalwood, I don't know if we're talking about them enough. I think they're really good, and even when they lose, it feels like it's pretty darn close. They're right in the middle of that Gateway Conference stuff going on right now. Bartram is back. Remember, Bartram was in early. Then Bartram went on a skid. They lost 2 in a row to Creekside. That was okay. Well, then they lost like 3 more games out of the next 4 or something. They had a really rough stretch. They really bounced back now. And they're winning a lot of games. And they got a big win this week against Bishop Snyder, maybe out of anywhere. Or nowhere, to get the win over Bishop Snyder. That was impressive. So hats off to Coach Fitzpatrick, who we had on earlier this year, and Bartram Trail back right there as a dangerous team down in St. Johns County here in Northeast Florida, and heading into potentially the postseason soon enough. And then I got Fleming Island. I was putting a bunch of different teams in here. I just told this, said to Mike Henderson in the commercial break, that I feel like there are 10 teams in the area that could probably sit in this 4 or 5 hole. And so last week we did pick your favorite team for that purpose. But I think Fleming deserves some recognition. I want to say they're 14-7. I don't have it right in front of me now, but I was looking them all up last night. Some good wins. I think they're a good team. I think they're on a heater right now. They're rolling. So we'll see where this one ends up. But again, that spot is so wide open. Once you, I think, get past the first 3, that I don't think many people would argue about. So what about next is our private school folks and Trinity Christian. Now, again, interesting, Hamby, because Trinity Christian, St. John's Country Day have some losses recently.
Right.
Bishop Snyder, some losses recently. Trinity was at the national event. I mean, they lost to 2 of the top 5 teams in the country. Hard to penalize them for that. St. John's Country Day just lost this week to Bowles.
Yeah, they threw 2 of our former travel Tribal Ball guys.
Oh, did they?
Klein and Johnny. Yeah. Looked up.
And then Bishop's
3-2 game. That was a really good game.
And then Bishop Snyder losing to Bartram Trail. Again, like, listen, we're not asking anybody to be perfect. It's just that you're going to have some wins and losses with the schedule these guys play. And therefore, you get a little bit of curiosity here in the rankings. I think we kind of kept it similar the way it's been. And some of this kind of started to come out on Sunday. So it's a mix of the last couple of days and when we put out our overall one on Sunday. But Bowles enters the conversation as a real story here. Bowles starting to play really good baseball. And I feel like they might have won 6 in a row, including that win over Snyder. So nice win for Bowles. They're seeming to find it. They look like they're getting better and better as the year goes along. And good sign for Coach Boz and the Bowles Bulldogs. And then I got Episcopal in here. Again, it's another one where we've had St. Joseph Academy, Providence. Who else have we put in there? Gosh, I don't know. But
I think there's
it's hard to find it. I think it's after. I really think Bowles has earned a spot in that top 5, and I believe Episcopal has too, or they wouldn't be there. But I think there's some debate, with some of those other teams like St. Joseph Academy and others that could probably get in the mix. So we'll see where it goes. Again, the wild thing here is there's 1 week to go in the regular season in high school baseball, and then the playoff format, once again new, which we'll probably explain next week, gets going with districts and then the state tournament. And I do want to mention this since we're talking a little bit about Bowles. If you missed it earlier in the show, you can see it on social media. We are going to have a home run derby on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, 6 o'clock Monday night. 18 home run derby contestants, 3 from 6 different schools. And this is a Florida-Georgia battle. So you've got some of the biggest programs in Georgia, like Oconee, Lake Oconee, right? And also Parkview. They're in the mix. And then you've got St. John's Country Day, Bishop Snyder, and Bowles on the Florida side. Interesting way to close the year. Usually you'd see something like this during a spring break. This is going to close the year with these guys playing here in Jacksonville over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday time period. But it's going to kick off with a home run derby on Monday. So we're going to have some fun with that. And we'll have it live with 18 different contestants, again, starting at 6 o'clock. Never have done it before. We're going to try it and hopefully have some fun with the home run derby. Of course, we have the Where's Home show usually on Sundays. This week, because of Easter, it's going to be Saturday at 6 o'clock. And then, of course, we'll have another edition of No Gate Fees next week. So plenty more high school baseball coverage coming up in the next 7 days. Now we get to the softball. We just had Coach Canaday on for Baker County. They stay number 1, no surprise. Columbia, I think, deserves that too. And then we've got the shakeup. We've had a bunch of teams in here from West Nassau to Episcopal. You can make a case for others. Guess what I landed on? I bumped Creekside from out of the poll to number 3. I had them at 4, but then I was like, well, they just beat Baldwin a couple weeks ago. I think I got to bump them ahead of Baldwin. And Paxson, we had 3 last week. I can't knock them too bad. They lost to the Atlantic Coast and then last night to Baker County. So I think some of the wins, Paxson has some of the best wins of the year around here. Like I mentioned last week, the cool thing about softball right now to me is we've got some depth. There are probably a good 8 to 10 teams at the very least from West Nassau, Atlantic Coast, Episcopal, just to name a couple more that you don't see here that are certainly capable. We've had the cool story of Sandalwood, had some real quality wins, but then they had some what happened losses. There's another team that I was actually ready to put in here, and then they didn't have a very good game yesterday, so it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. That's Trinity Christian. Trinity Christian, who's been a little down the last few years. At one time, one of the premier programs over the last 10, 15 years in Jacksonville. Well, they're back. They had played a softer schedule, in my view, but they got a huge win over Episcopal in comeback fashion last week. So keep an eye on Trinity Christian. And I'll also say keep an eye on University Christian, who's always good. But the reason I don't have them in, I just didn't feel like their schedule right now is as deep as a lot of these other teams. So, again, I just gave you, I think, 10 teams that could easily be in the mix in terms of our power polls. And I like that. That's pretty cool to see. But Baker County's still at the top of the heap, and I don't know. They've played a tremendously difficult schedule, and they've taken care of everybody to the tune of 16-0. All right, man, that's it. Got our power polls in. Congrats to Coach Luciano from Creekside, Coach of the Week, presented by Perfect Rack Billiards. Sam Smedley from Mandarin, committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Nimnik Buick GMC. And thanks to Coach Canaday. Thanks to Coach Henderson for coming on the show. Thanks for the patience from here in Orlando from the cars. The Jags had a big announcement today down in Orlando. We made it work, Hamby. Got it done.
All right. Got it done.
And don't forget, the message of today is what Mike Henderson said: run your own race. If you're a kid looking to go play at the next level, maybe in simpler terms, find your fit. Find the right fit, that next level, and make sure you're making decisions for the right reasons. That's what we're hoping you do, because we think the experience will be good if that's the way it goes. That's going to do it for No Gate Fees, presented by Nimnik Buick GMC, Republic Services, Baker Sports, and Perfect Rack Billiards. Thanks for hanging out with us. The final week of the regular season in baseball next week when we do this show next Wednesday. Good luck.